Yeah, that was a wonderful start with this countdown fiasco. But what's up, y'all? Uncle Lean here for the interestingness that happened at WrestleMania. Jesus Christ. At WWE SummerSlam Sunday, 2025. Let me just say this. SummerSlam was better than Mania. I mean, as a whole, for a two-night show, SummerSlam was better than Mania. I wonder how, I don't even know if Survivor Series is going to be 2 nights. That'd be another one that could go 2 nights. I know the Rumble's 2 nights. But, yeah, they may as well just have them all 2 nights. Even Money in the Bank should be 2 nights. That's why I call them Big Five. But, you know, they're going to do what they want to do. And like I said, as a whole, I will describe it momentarily. But, you know, my notes and thoughts and whatever. But, yeah, man, here's how it went. The way it started, you know, they have to do the arrivals. And I noticed that if you watch the countdown, they show their arrivals. So it's like pre-taped arrivals. Like, for instance, Solo and the MFTs, which stands for My Family Tree now, you know. That was interesting enough. I heard that on the, you know, stuff, the stuff leading to their match, more on that in the middle. Jacob Fatu, I saw that arrival during the countdown. Him in his Sacramento King shirt. He's built from Sacramento. Then they showed Lyra, Becky, and Cody Rhodes. And they recapped the action from Saturday, and reactions from like regular fans and streamers alike. Drewski was narrating again, and then the way the show started, it was like, okay, Alicia Taylor. You know how they start with the pyro. I missed America Beautiful, but I know who sung it. But so Alicia Taylor introduces Triple H. So Trips enters the ring, does this spiel. This is the biggest PLE event pertaining to the theme ever. And are you ready? Yes, I'm ready. So I put that in. I put Triple H opens up night 2 in ring. Are you ready? Yes, I am. You know, I always read my notes after I express my thoughts. So it's interesting right off the bat with just the entrances alone. Well, one entrance, one out of the 3. As you know, as you can figure out, the triple threat match started night 2. Women's World Title triple threat. Naomi the Champ versus Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky. Rhea enters first because, you know, this is my brutality that wakes up the crowd, basically. And then, of course, Rhea enters first, lip syncing her theme song as usual. And then She does a thing. She enters the ring. Then Io Sky comes in. Now there's people egging on to do her taunt. You might not have seen it, but she's looking, and then she does it for a little while, and you know what I'm saying. She playing to the crowd. But speaking of playing, Naomi, for Naomi's entrance, you got a dude coming out playing the guitar. Well, that dude is none other than her dad. And he's playing her to the ring, basically. And that was a cool entrance. You know what I'm saying? There was a couple cool entrances on the show. I will explain it. You know? And I wrote this down. Alicia Taylor then proceeds to over-announce the participants in the match. And I put in parentheses the running gag. So I got a couple running gags that played off like both nights. So y'all can point them out and y'all can point them out. But as it is, it's as it is. For real. It's as is. So the match begins, the bell rings, and it's a stare down between all three. And then Naomi just powders out. Like, I don't have to fight right now. So, you know what I'm saying? She on some chicken shit, hill shit. So it's like, all right. It's like, nah, come back in the ring. They both like, come back in the ring. So it's like, Naomi tried to run. Like, nah, I ain't doing that. So Rhea and Io corners her. Eventually, she goes back in the ring, and then Rhea and Io double team for a little while. But you know, much with a lot of triple threats, it's like it's either the faces or the heels are going to take control of the other participant in the match, and then usually what comes up is miscommunication with flip mode artists. Now, I introduced this joke yesterday, so if y'all ain't see it yesterday, you know, in reintroducing it today. But yeah, I put less notes in this group. Let me just put it like that. But anyway, miscommunication with flip mode artists caused Naomi to take control of the match for a time, and then Naomi then knocks Io out the ring, and then basically Moxa steals her taunt or whatever. But then Rio, oh, that'd be a nice team name, Rio. Anyway, Rhea and Io ends up double teaming Naomi again. You know, basically pinballing her, and then double Io taunt with Rhea. It was funny when they did that, and it's like, yo, Io got the. I'll say this. Io got the cutest taunt, y'all. Not for nothing, but it's like, it's something the kids could do. You know what I'm saying? You could be 8 to 80 and do it. I'll do that. But anyway, it's too much to like write. There was too much to write down for me. I could just like near falls and counters. You know, it was like, I don't even know what Naomi's finisher is now that she's like a full-fledged heel. But I could tell you about over the moonsaults that was counted. I could tell you about riptides that was counted. You know, and even when people was hitting finishes, like there was one point in the match where it was a riptide to Naomi and pinfall. See, pinfall broken up by Io. This is why I'm doing it faceless, y'all. And then eventually spilled outside. But it got interesting when they came back in the ring. As I fast forward to the finish, it was like a super. I don't know what was going on that caused the super riptide to Io, because it's like Io wanted to do something, probably like a Rana or something, but then she fell over, and I guess this was an improv point. because there was a super riptide by Rhea to Io, and it looked like Rhea won the match, but then Naomi breaks up the pin to basically small, basically like roll up, as Simon Miller would say, the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment, the surprise roll up, and Naomi pins Rhea to retain. That was a fast paced triple threat match, and you know what I'm saying. That was something like, you know, I have problems with certain championship, you know what I'm saying, matches to start this show, but I get it, especially the triple threat match, because you want to get the crowd interested. You know what I'm saying? Even though Jersey was lit, MetLife was lit both nights. You know, but but that's what happens. And still, the women's world champion Naomi proceed with caution. Then they went to the little breaks. Remember, I'm watching it on Peacock, so I'm not watching like the vignettes. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if whoever's watching internationally on Netflix, they can catch that. And of course, I don't have premium. So if I had premium, then I would have been able to watch the lead-in promos. You know what I'm saying? The good shit. But as it is, we come back from these awful breaks on regular Peacock. SummerSlam 2026 will be in Minnesota. That's August 1st and 2nd of next year, so I'll be here for that. I won't be in Minnesota, I said I'll be here for that on YouTube. So into the camera time. You know what I'm saying? They got the, the Reggie Miller wannabe Tyrese Halliburton in the stands. Yes, that's the Nick fan in me. You know what I'm saying? You gotta clown him. I don't care if he's injured, he's still a clown. And then you got Nick Hogan in the house for the second day in a row. He made a weekend out of it, y'all. Shouts to Nick Hogan. And then you got Michelle McCool, and I guess it was the her and Taker's oldest daughter. You know, I know they were both standing up. For all I know, Michelle might have had this whole tribe over, but who got camera time? Michelle McCool and the daughter. And then, as they were about to start the second match, you know where I'm coming from when I talk about who else got the camera time. Alicia Taylor goes to mention that it's been 25 years since the first TLC match that occurred at SummerSlam. And it was, Dudley Boys versus Hardy Boys versus Edge and Christian. Well, they pan over to the camera in the audience. You got the Dudley Boys there. WWE Hall of Famers, the Dudley Boys. And then, in another part of the arena, Christian Miracle, shout out to him. You got TNA World Tag Team Champions, the Hardy Boys. Commemorating the 25 years anniversary of TLC at SummerSlam. Now, if you don't know, you should know that they're gonna fight each other one last time at TNA Bound for Glory. They had to note that, so I'm noting it. So, without further ado, let's get into the second match. Another one I couldn't really put notes down like that, but it was the WWE Tag Team Champions 6-pack TLC match with the champions Wyatt Six versus the Street Profits versus DIY versus Motor City Machine Guns versus Fraxium versus Andrade and Ray Phoenix. So the first thing I put down is like, okay, who are the heels? And at the end of the match, I guess it was the Wyatt Six, but I don't think so. But anyway, let's get to it. Everybody flying all over the place, and over in hut number three, you know what I'm saying? Me and my little brother, we call it high flying Brian because that was Brian Pillman pre loose cannon. Hell, pre Hollywood Blondes. But anyway, I'm dating myself. But anyway, high flying Brian action at the beginning, and then it's like, why? It's like, well, listen, they fly too. You know what I'm saying? Gacy and Loomis, they fly too. But then it's like, all right, everybody throwing Joe Gacy, you know what I'm saying, repeatedly on the ladder. High back body drops and body slams. You know what I'm saying? Gacy getting the business. But then once the Street Profits decide, you know what I'm saying, they gonna get in on the action and just, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, they was the last ones to, like, on the sequence of just throwing Gacy on the ladders. Then you hear Angelo Dawkins go, Taz, get the tables. Dudley Boys ate that shit up. Bubba and D-Bomb was like having shit-eating grinners, y'all. But before they got to do that, did they set up the table? I don't know. But I do know this. I do remember this because I got it noted. Andrade and Ray Phoenix comes in and hits Stereo Three Amigos on the Profits. Cue the Eddie Guerrero taunts. Oh, more where that came from, by the way. Everybody going through tables. There was tables set up outside of all four corners of the ring. This was some sick shit. You know, you had people get pushed through tables. You had I think Dexter Loomis hit a leg drop on Montez Ford, I believe, through table. And then we just had Fraxium doing, well, we probably had Frazier doing something. Motor City Machine Guns, they did like a probably like an elbow drop or a splash through a table. But the sickest move was when okay, Dawkins was gonna try something, but then Axiom cut him off. And then they did a Spanish fly spot. Axiom and Dawk through a table. That was the sickest move in the match. Honestly. You know what I'm saying? This match kind of stole the show until later on. But then came how do you overbook a TLC match? Well, you have associates of certain teams come in. Because first door run-in was Candice LeRae trying to help DIY win it. So she runs in, she runs a little interference, but then she got cut off at the pace by B-Fab. You know what I'm saying? Who represents the Street Profits. And then you can't have a woman running without Nikki Cross. Abby the Witch. She comes in and, you know, cuts everybody else off. Obviously, she's with the Wyatt Six. And speaking of Wyatt Six, Eric Rowan comes in. And then basically have a spot with the Profits. And then after the total storm, because this is what happened after the fact. After those four got out the ring, you know what I'm saying? They got beaten down. What happened was, it was a crazy ladder spot where seemed like every member from every team, you probably had about 12 to 24 hands on the title where they're trying to get, well, at least 10 to 20. Because you had all the other teams, it's like climbing the ladder, beating each other up, trying to grab the title, beating each other up, trying to grab the title. Oh, but before I can get down with that, there was a spot where Tommaso Ciampa was about to unhook it, and then what happened was it was like the ladder was taken from under him, so he's hanging with the titles. You know what I'm saying? A la Jeff Hardy 25 years ago. Nathan Frazier goes up to the top of the ladder, nearly the top of the ladder, and then he basically tried to spear Tommaso Ciampa edge Jeff Hardy style, trying to recreate that moment. But what Tommaso Ciampa did was lift his legs up and turn Frazier's attempt into a flying nothing. All right, now back to what I was talking about. Every team touching the goal, basically. In comes Bo Dallas, Uncle Howdy. So he moves the ladder. You know what I'm saying? He moves the ladders again, knocking every team off of the ladder. And then soon, they had a ladder on the ground. So Andrade comes in and hits the sunset flip because Bo Dallas was trying to get the titles for the Wyatt Six, and then Andrade hit the sunset flip on Dallas into a ladder. But getting back to the Candice LeRae thing, she got put through a ladder. I mean, completely through. You know how some of the men get put through a ladder and then it'll break up a little bit. When Candice LeRae got put through a ladder, it shattered. I meant to put that in my notes, but I did remember. All right, now getting back to the finish. Joe Gacy goes up the rungs and with Dexter Lumis as a lookout, and he unhooks the titles, and still WWE Tag Team Champions, the Wyatt Six. I know I was all over the place with the notes and thoughts, but bear with me because it was so fast paced I couldn't really put notes down like that. Nothing interesting to talk about in between this that match and this one upcoming, so I'm gonna just get to it. Women's Intercontinental title, no DQ, no countouts, no rematches if Lyra loses. Becky Lynch, the champion, versus Lyra Valkyria. All right, I already knew this before, but Becky Lynch had some new entrance music. They spoiled that early in the morning. You know what I'm saying? So I don't remember if it was Sports Keto or Wrestle Talk, but yeah, he was like, yeah, Becky's gonna have new music. Neutron, all that. You know, music starts with, they say, the man that's come around. That was Becky talking. But anyway, she got new entrance music. Now, here's what I don't understand. And I think I've seen this a couple of times with Lyra Valkyria. She telegraphs or dives too much. Either that or that's just storytelling. But she had an early advantage, and then she tried to. I'm telling you, I don't know who was the catalyst for this, her or Becky. And I know I might be saying catalyst wrong, but anyway, she tried to take a dive outside with Becky looking dead at her. That's what I wrote down. But I'm just saying, she was looking dead at her. If you rewatch the match, you will see that Becky is looking dead at Lyra so she can move. But anyway, it was outside. Lyra was dominating for a little while. Lyra was dominating for a while. To the point where it was like, all right, Becky got a kendo stick, but then Lyra introduced the crowbar. And then it's like, It was like, yeah, crowbar against candlestick. Crowbar wins all the time. And then back in the ring, I mean, it was like near fall after near fall. Becky Lynch trying to end the match early. But then it's like more weapons introduced, mostly chairs. But it's like Lyra just getting an ass whoop, But it's like she's being the one with the heart. I mean, she was getting beat with chairs. She was getting beat with toolboxes, wrenches. You know what I'm saying? Insert weapon here. Lyra was getting her ass beat with it. You know what I'm saying? And there was a point where Becky pulls out a zip tie and zip ties Lyra's wrists together, and she's just wailing on her. She has a zip tie. You know what I'm saying? Just wailing on her. Like what Simon said one day on what culture? Laying waste. But yeah, but she kept kicking out. Near fall after near fall after near fall. Then babyface heat came while her hands were zip tied still. You know? She leading with offensive comeback. She's running up the chairs for drop kicks. She did a moonsault with her hands still zip tied. Yeah, they were near falls, but that was sick. Wade Barrett was like, how the hell do you do that with your hands zip tied together? And eventually Becky takes back over because she did have Lyra wrapped around a chair, and then they go back and forth like trying to because the way it was, the back end of the chair was in front of Lyra, but the legs of the chair was behind her. So it's like both, wherever they move, somebody's gonna take the end. It's like the hurt end of the damage, basically. So Becky takes back over with Lyra still folded in the chair. See that crowbar that Lyra introduced, Becky now has a hold of it, and she's about to like smash Lyra with the crowbar, and then Bailey shows up out of the crowd, snatches the crowbar, and she goes to just a whipping on Becky's ass, and you can hear Bailey saying, "You took everything from me," like, you know what I'm saying, in reference to knocking out of WrestleMania 41. So then Lyra comes back one last time. She ends up getting the zip ties off of her. So she's got Becky. She's basically got Becky where she wants her. But then again, that dreaded miscommunication with Flip Mode Artists. Bailey tries to get a shot on Becky. She nails Lyra. And then Becky proceeds to hit the manhandle slam for the pin, and still, Women's Intercontinental Champion Becky Lynch. Lyra gets no more title shots for as long as Becky's champion. So I think that's going to set up the Becky Bailey storyline with a possible heel turn from Lyra. But we don't know that. We don't know that. On to match number 4. Oh, but wait, we got camera time. Camera time. We got Jelly Roll, who stuck around to be a spectator this time. And then Metro Boomin was in the stands. That's Michael Cole's guy, by the way. Because, Michael Cole is like, he knows all the rappers. How do I know? I don't know. How the hell is Michael Cole the foremost authority of hip hop right now? I don't get it. Anyway, Tiger Lily Gold was in the stand. They the ones that sung "America the Beautiful," by the way, or "God Bless America." It was one of them. Like I said, I did. It was probably "America the Beautiful" because they like to do that at 2 night events with WWE. One one night they'll sing "God Bless America," and then the next night they'll sing "America the Beautiful." So I got it on good authority that Tiger Lily Gold sung "America the Beautiful." I'm not gonna run it back, but I'm just saying. Speaking of running it back, Russell Wilson was in the stands with his and Future's kids. Anyway, Russell Wilson was in the stands with a giant replica of the WWE Championship. I want one of those belts. I need that. I need a Met belt. I need a Nick belt, and I need a Devils belt. If they do hockey out, I think they do. But as it is, we go into the U.S. title steel cage match with Solo Sikoa, champion, taking on Jacob Fatu. Now, interestingly enough, Jacob Fatu now comes in the ring wearing a werewolf mask. Now, I'm not sure if that was just for the PLE, but well, I'll be tuning in to SmackDown for the Fallout. But here's the thing: it was a standard cage match for the most part. Jacob Fatu, Solo's the heel, so he's not gonna do anything interesting because he's just not. All he's gonna do is do comedic shit. He'll take advantage of the offense, and then he'll mock Jacob. That's basically what he did. Jacob did. I mean, it was a standard cage match until later on. So he was a powerhouse in the match. He ran Solo into each corner of, like, to each side of the cage. Like I said, standard shit, but they're both Samoans, so it's like, but I guess because Jacob's the face, he has the harder head. But here's where it got interesting though, because it got overbooked as usual. The MFTs come to the ring because there's 3 of them. So they figure that they're gonna climb up, and Jacob kicking them down or whatever. Well, at least he kicked JC Mateo down. But hold on. Wait 1 sec. Because as they came to the ring, they were looking at it. What they wanted to do was climb that cage. Again, all over myself, I forgot to mention that Jimmy Uso came out. He doing super kicks, delivering super kicks to Tonga Loa and JC Mateo, but then Tonga basically runs over him and then throws him over the announce table. There was a lot of people getting thrown over announce tables on this night too. So Jimmy Uso out the picture right now, and then now this is when he start climbing. That's when he start climbing or whatever. JC Mateo gets kicked off the gate, and then Tonga Loa gets pulled into the cage, and then what happens? Tonga comes up. No, JC gets kicked off. Then you got Tonga Loa and Tonga climbing up, and then Jacob pulls Tonga Loa into the ring, but Tonga has, because Jacob was still at the top rope for whatever reason, and then Tonga gets handcuffs and then handcuffs one of Jacob's wrists to the top of the cage. So now it's like, all right, let's get Solo out the door, because that's a coward move according to Jesse's Body Ventura. But you don't want to win the match walking out the door. If you saw it, you saw it. I should have did an interesting shit on that. That was the one before the Goldberg thing that I haven't brought to y'all yet. But Jacob ends up ripping the cuffs in half. He just ripped his wrist, rip cuff off. He's still cuffed, but he ripped the link off. So he's trying to keep Solo in the cage. He pulls him back in. And then it's like, eventually, Solo's still trying to run out, whatever, because you got, Tangaloa still running interference, and then he kicks, he smacks JC Mateo. He kicks the gate into JC Mateo. He kicks the door into JC Mateo, and then he's still trying to pull Solo back in the ring. But then Tala Tonga kicks the door in the Jacob Fatu's face, and then he stays there and helps Solo crawl out the cage, basically. So Solo escapes, retains, and still. But then it's like this numbers game. I was just hoping that Roman and Jay come out, but I guess it's not that time yet. But mark my words, I'm telling you now, it will be Bloodline versus MFTs, I guess, for War Games. But yeah, after the match, Jimmy comes back, attacks JC Mateo, and forces him in the ring. Now, mind you, Tangaloa is still there. Tangaloa is still there, y'all. So Jacob assaults them, and then he hits the straight up moonsault off the top of not off the top rope. He thinks about it, and then he goes up to the actual top of the cage and hits a great moonsault off the top of the cage. And that's how that angle ends. Jacob stands tall, but he's still not U.S. champion. So that was that. That was, like I said, standard match. He was waiting. It's like, what we was going to see. It was like, all right, they doing their thing. It's just a matter of time before they overbook the shit. And that's what happens. Overbooking like a. So, camera time. Mr. Iguana and Psycho Clown. I mean, they're going to give Mr. Iguana. They're going to give these guys like crazy time on camera. One interesting thing about the next event, which is not Clash of Paris, is gonna be AAA Triple Mania 33. Or 33. But apparently there's gonna be a title match that Dirty Dom Mysterio, Dragon Lee are gonna take part in. It's a fatal 4-way match. I don't know if Mr. Iguana's in it. Well, I think the Kingo is in there, but I know Dom's in it. I know Dragon Lee's in it. But speaking of Dirty Dom, it's time for the Intercontinental match. It's time for the Intercontinental title match. Dirty Dom versus AJ Styles, and this was sick. Now, they bring up Dominic Mysterio in his 20th year in the WWE, and technically it is. Really, it's 20 years to the date that he was part of that custody angle with Eddie and Ray Ray. But yeah, so Dominic comes out now. They're saying that he had He had his gear on like replicating what Ray wore 20 years ago. I have to go back to that match, but it's like he comes in and basically it was a contest because he's chilling Wingstop right now, so because of chicken tendies, and so yeah, he's selling Wingstop. So it was a contest to see what coat with what coat he was gonna wear to the ring, and the winner was the long version number 3, whatever. But he's in the ring, and then AJ's music comes on. But damn it, you may as well just said "Viva la Raza," then played his music, because out comes AJ Styles in a lowrider with, I'm guessing, his oldest son in there. So it's like it's funny because it's like AJ comes out, he's working the lowrider, and he comes out, he's got his name on the t-shirt. His whole gear is Eddie Guerrero right now, and his whole style is Eddie Guerrero right now. So AJ, that was a nice touch. You know, I say Eddie Guerrero inspired gear because it's like his shirt, yeah, it says AJ Styles, but it's in like the Latino Heat logo when he was like full-fledged Latino Heat during the him and China days. So that was a nice touch. I ain't even gonna lie. But here go the crowd again. I gotta say this for this video, just like I said in the last video. Stop trying to Boney M every damn wrestler's name. You know what I'm saying? Your Boney M and Daddy Cool and Dirty Dom, it didn't work. It did not work. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, if they put this on a wrestling game, if they put this on a 2K game where it's like they try to Boney M every wrestler, you can't do it. You can't do that. Again, it was one of those matches where I couldn't really put notes down, where it was like go move for move and all that other shit, but I'm telling you, it was crazy callbacks. Even with, like I said, AJ was, you know what I'm saying, trying to do the lie, cheat, and steal. Yo, crazy awkward. I won't say cringe, but it was crazy awkward because he did it hopping out the low rider. He did it going into the ring. He did it on the turnbuckles. I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, like I said, crazy callbacks with Eddie's career, basically, because you had the Three Amigos in the match. You had the lie, cheat, and steal spot introduced by Dominic, but AJ Styles was like, it's like, all right, the chair, you know what I'm talking about, the lie, cheat, and steal spot with the chair. Dominic slams the chair on the canvas, throws it to AJ Styles. AJ like, all right, I'm gonna do you one better. I see your chair banging, and I'm gonna wrap this around my neck real quick so you can get caught out there. So AJ puts his head through puts the chair around his neck, falls to the mat, and then the referee don't know what the hell to do. So this will lead to another spot. It was like the match continued. There was no, you got caught up there. It was like AJ just moved the chair, and then Dominic gets caught in the calf crusher. But this is another lie, cheat, and steal spot. This was a callback to WrestleMania 20 when Eddie did this shit against Kurt Angle. Because turns out his boot comes off. Dominic's boot comes off, and then it ends up to come into play when AJ tries to run at Dominic, but Dominic ducks. Dominic ducks. It was almost a rough bump, and then it was almost a rough bump. So then what happened was AJ stops himself on time, only to turn around and get one in the kisser with the boot, with Dominic's boot. And then frog splash, 1, 2, 3. Dominic Mysterio live cheats and steals the retention of his Intercontinental title. That was a good match. I think this match stole the show because of the Eddie shit. You know what I'm saying? The fans was in their feelings for Eddie. They chanted Eddie basically throughout the match. And like I said, that was a good tribute. And it's funny how it's like they had the callback. You know, basically that whole TLC match was a callback. You know, to the match 25 years ago, even though that was a triple threat match. They had double the teams in it, but this was a callback, you know what I'm saying, to Eddie. You know? And I think the whole storyline was like on some callback, because you know they have to be talking about this. It's like, all right, while I'm faking an injury, I'm trying to I'll come up with some ideas and see if you want to do something with that. I don't know how it went by behind the scenes. Maybe he'll show that on Unreal, but as it is, good match. Shout out to AJ Styles. Shout out to Dominic Mysterio. That was pretty damn good performance by both of them. All right, you know it's night 2 of a 2-night event. You know you got to bring somebody out to announce the attendance. The person with that responsibility just so happened to be Stephanie McMahon. So she comes. Soon as Alicia Taylor announced her, I knew it. I knew that's what she was out for. Why? Because I knew there was only one match left to go through. So Stephanie announces it was 60,000 and change, whereas night 1 was 53,000 and change. So they had like 113,000 roughly in the stands for the biggest SummerSlam ever until Minnesota. But yeah, but MetLife was lit though. Shout outs to Jersey, shout outs to MetLife Stadium, and shout outs to my New York Giants. But we get to the main event. Oh man, for the WWE title. And I ain't gonna front, I had my heart in my chest because it's like I knew something was gonna be big after the match or during the match. You know? Because there was rumors, and then there was rumor killer. I mean, listen, there was rumor killer. You know? Or probably like a fat killer, because it's like, you be the judge of that in the comment section. But as it is, before I even go through that, listen. If you want to do this, do that. There was a couple people peeked in and out, but listen, if you want to do this, do that for real. But yeah, enough about that. Forget about that. Let's get back to the story. But here we go. WWE title. John Cena, the never seen 17, against the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, in a street fight. I know I said that AJ Styles versus Dominic Mysterio. First of all, I said the TLC match stole the show. Then AJ Styles and Dominic stole the show. This match was match of the night. Cody Rhodes and John Cena put their dancing shoes on last night. Now, before we get to that, I want to say this: Cody Rhodes came out with like an extra intro to his entrance. They played a whole quote, you know. They played a whole quote by Dusty Rhodes doing a voiceover, and I thought that was a nice touch. And honestly, it had me thinking. I'm like, yo, Cody might be new champion. Why put that up? Only to lose. You know what I'm saying? Becky Lynch got new theme music and won. Naomi got played to the ring by her father and won. You know what I'm saying? I guess gone are the days where you have a fantastic, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking for the word, but a fantastic addition, you know what I'm saying, to your intro and lose. You know? Yo, whoever watching this on the playback or whoever watching live, you know, just let me know. When was the last time somebody had a glamorous entrance and lost? You know? And Jade Cargill doesn't count because she always come out to, you know what I'm saying, to theatrics. But anyway, Cody comes out, and then you're anticipating if the real John Cena was back to, you know what I'm saying, to the old John Cena. So you got the you know what I'm saying, you got the intro to the beat. You know, it's black with just John Cena in white lettering, and then you hear Amadou, and then the lights get, and then the Tron gets crazy colorful. John Cena is back, baby. The real John Cena is back. So Cena's like, he's playing to the crowd. He's letting it be known. It's like, yo, I told you I'll be back. You know what I'm saying? He's not wearing the title backwards no more. He's rocking it front. You know, he's yelling to the crowd. He's yelling to Stu. He talking to Stu again. He got instead of putting the flag on his back, in the back of his head, and walking to he got the last time is now in giant colors. And it's like, you know what, it's like, it's been a while. You know what it's time to do? Let's go to work. So Cena telling Stu we gotta go to work, and runs to the ring. It's full face Cena. This dude is a face again for the rest of his retirement run. You know what I'm saying? The fans are on fire right now. And he comes in, you know what I'm saying, runs in, holds the title up because, you know, he got the title, so he can just hold it up instead of doing, I'm faceless right now, because show you on camera. But I could take myself off real quick just to show you what I'm talking about. It's like he's holding the title up. You know, if he didn't, he'd be like this. You know? So basically that was what that was. So yeah. And then because it's a title match, you know, we gotta give Alicia Taylor the chance to be on camera over announcing. Well, she kind of didn't. I'll give her this. She calmed down after she calmed down for this one. You know, she was still trying to yell robotically, but she didn't go hard on the what you call it. I guess because it was a street fight, so she had to announce that it was a street fight. And then once both participants was in the ring, it was just like, okay, challenger and champion, because I already said that the match was a street fight for 1-4. So there it is. So interestingly enough, Cody was you had to boo somebody, right? At least that's what happens in today's WWE universe. So Cody was getting booed. And it was a little bit during the intro, then it got a little audible during the match. They cheered him too, but they started to boom because it's like boom. All right, we love Cena again. We want him to retain, basically. So the match starts. They hug each other, right? They hug each other. There was nobody looking towards the camera, deadpanning. It was like a genuine hug. Then let's fight. You know what I'm saying? They beating each other up. Action spills it outside a little bit. Well, Cena goes to the outside, and he starts introducing weapons. He does the "You Can't See Me" to Tyrese Halliburton and snatches one of his crutches, and he actually uses it on Cody. More weapons introduced. It's like beat each other up with weapons, near falls, and then come the greatest hits from Cena first. Shoulder block, prototype, proto bomb, 5-knuckle shuffle. Cody counters the AA though. And then Cody hits his greatest hits. You know what I'm saying? The Dusty Punch / binding elbow sequence. Cody Cutter, disaster kick. And then he didn't hit a crossroad. You know, oh, by the way, he hit the Goldust flat punch too. More near falls. Cena hits an electric chair drop for a near fall. Cody then is some crazy shit. Cena goes for another AA. Cody reverses it to a pile driver. You know what I'm saying? Shouts Coco beware for the song. But anyway, another near fall. Crowd is going to eating this match up. Action spills to the outside again. And then it's like Cena takes over on offense on the out at ringside. He hits a Canadian Destroyer, Pop Rocks, Cold Red, whatever you want to call it. I just put Pop. I was like, oh shit, Cena just hit a Pop Rocks. And then he hits an AA on Cody Rhodes through the table. Back in the ring, near fall. And then Cody fires up, hits a crossroad to Cena for a near fall. And then you had a top rope bulldog. Was it a bulldog? No, it was a leg drop. I think it was a leg drop. I put bulldog for whatever reason. It was a leg drop AA combo. So near fall, and then for whatever reason, Cody unhooks the bottom ropes and then nailing Cena. Like back and forth. 3 crossroads, 4 near fall. It was a 3 straight crossroads in succession. Cena kicked out. And then 2 AAs and a super AA, Avalanche AA is what he called it, by Cena for a near fall. Now, there was another point in the match where the action spilled outside and you know what I'm saying? They started using the barricade. It was in between what I was talking about. I didn't put the barricade in my notes, but as it was, Cena gets another table and then puts it in the ring. Now he's about to super AA Cody through the table. Cody reverses it. Cody reverses it into a Cody cutter. So Cena goes to the table, but it's like they got up kind of quick. Now for these two to be spent on the match, I guess we could say it was a final adrenaline rush. I guess that's what they'll probably try to call it. But they go through the table. Cena's up just to lean on the ropes. Cody's up though. You know what I'm saying? I guess he didn't take the brunt of the table, you know. But so Cody's up. He's looking at Cena. One final salute, and then one more crossroads for the 1, 2, 3, and new WWE champion, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Cody's a two-time champ. So after the match, because it was like Cody was kind of conflicted. It was like whether he wanted to just take the belt or thank Cena or be like see if Cena's alright and thank him for a good match or whatever. So it's like Cody was conflicted. Now, in my head, it was like, all right, Cody's conflicted right now. If you want to, you know what I'm saying? If you want, and there was a point during the match where it's like, do I want to go to the dark side? Cody was teasing the heel turn. Cena was all like, oh, I'm gonna get the belt. Nah, I don't need it. I'm back, y'all. So yeah, so it turns out it's like Cena doing, basically pulling a Hogan WrestleMania 6. It's like he grabs the title, hands it to Cody, raises his hand, he hugs him, and you still looking for it. You still looking for the dastardly shit to happen. But no. Cena hugs Cody. You know what I'm saying? They raise each other's hands. Cody ends up leaving the ring, giving John Cena the ring. Sure respect by both men. And then Cena's like, they cut Cena. First of all, it's like they cut Cody's off to leave Cena in the ring, and then it's like the fans like, thank you, Cena, chant, thank you, Cena, and Cena's just soaking it in. He's just taking it all in. That lasts for about 3 minutes and change, because what you hear next. That's right. I bugged out when I heard that music. I'm like, what the fuck? What in the actual fuck? Then he comes out. What? First of all, Michael Cole, Wade Barrett. What? So they had two Stone Colds on the commentary table. Then he comes out. Michael Cole, in all his glory, was like, holy shit. Yeah, they played it. And it's still on the YouTube playbacks too. Holy shit. The beast is back. And he grew more hair on his head. Brock Lesnar, he's got a full head of hair now. Not the long cut, not the long, you know what I'm saying, the long hair with a bald fade. Brock grew all his hair out. I put it down, I was like, holy shit, Brock fucking Lesnar is back. Guess he's no longer part of the sex scandal. Because why else? Why else would he be back in a WWE arena, let alone a ring, if he's still implicated in that sex scandal? But anyway, Brock is back. He's slow walking into the ring. He did his taunts at the top of the ramp. He took his hat off to show that he grew all his hair, that he got a head full of hair. So Brock's back. He's stalking around the ring, outside of the ring. Cena knows what's going down. So he slowly takes off his jacket, puts it to, throws it to the floor, took his hat off, Places it gently on top of his jacket, and he's just staring Cena down. And then he goes up under a, mind you, again, the bottom rope is gone. You know what I'm saying? It's not hooked, so Brock slides in. Cena throws a weak ass punch that Brock ducks, and then F5s John Cena. And then Brock, that's how the show ends, basically. Throws hat back on. And then just stands over a prone John Cena. Roll credits. SummerSlam's over. You know? I gotta say, man, better than Mania. Mania had a couple of low points that kind of messed things up, but and I'm not saying that was a bad event. I'm just saying that what I am saying is, if you want to do this, do that. But I like how it's like I was intrigued with every match, even the Sammy match. I know I said some things about the Sammy match that I wasn't interested. I just really couldn't write nothing interesting down outside of Karrion Kross got a book out and the fans want to get behind them. But you know, and there's some things I'm reading on social media. It's like you know, they fucked up Jade Cargill's momentum. Sammy needs to take a loss. And what else they said? Naomi shouldn't have retained. I mean, good points with all, but it could have went either way. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind what happened on the show. Hell, you could have said Cena could have retained and then Cody could have turned heel, but according to what I read about the Brock Lesnar thing, you know, behind the scenes, and I didn't watch the post show with Triple H. Got interviewed, you know, but it was alluded, at least according to what I read, that Brock Lesnar return was Cena's idea. So who knows? Because according to what I read, Triple H was saying that it's Cena's retirement tour. He's calling the shots. So it was his idea to lose to Cody. It was his idea that Brock Lesnar came back so they could have one more rivalry. So yo, shouts to Cena and shouts to WWE as a whole, because it's like, I'm ready for this. I'm ready for the rest of this tour now. I mean, I've been ready, but it's like there was some bumps along. You know, the heel turn was stupid. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the fans did it. I don't think we wanted it like this. But whatever, it happened. Cena's face again, and Cena's no longer champion. But I wouldn't be surprised if Cody loses to somebody, or let me check. Let me put a bug in y'all ear real quick. Cena retired by beating Seth Rollins for the world title. I'm just saying. Although he might go Evolution style to work, that's another thing that I read. They put the belt, you know what I'm saying? Seth Rollins cashed in, so they could set up a Seth Rollins Braun Breaker program, maybe by WrestleMania 42. All right, we'll see what happens. I'm looking too far ahead, but good SummerSlam, you know what I'm saying? So I was left speechless, kind of like how I'm left speechless right now. You know what I'm saying? Good PLE, and I'm gonna try to go backwards for y'all. Still gotta do that same main event. Still gotta do Evolution. But it is what it is. That's all the time I got, y'all. 2 nights of SummerSlam, an hour and change each stream for nights 1 and 2. Hey, don't say I ain't do nothing for y'all. Oh, but before I go, there was something that happened at WrestleMania that didn't make it, and that was when it was like four girls in the stands was getting it on. I saw this on WrestleMania.com. Like basically, was it last night or this morning? Yeah, it was last night. I'm like, I have to take note of that, but I was like, I had it in my head, and mostly because I wasn't drinking. By the way, I'm off camera, but drink with me, and it's water. I promise you. Nah, but I saw it was like, and they were wrestling. It's like there wasn't no throws being. I mean, there wasn't no punches being thrown, but it was like it was 3 to 4 young girls in the. You understand? And they all look like they all look like family, so it must have been like a disagreement or whatever. Might have been miscommunication with flip mode artists, but I'm just saying that was the one thing I meant to say in the middle of this report. But yeah. And another thing I want to say, thanks for 20 subscribers. Yeah, I know I ain't put a dent in nobody's ass with that, but still, for somebody that just does, you know what I'm saying? For me to just do stuff like this, and I was once doing Met Lives and stuff like that, still do Met Reports and stuff. I mean, for now, it's going to be expanded by the fall. Because then I'll be talking more Giants and Knicks and Devils. And I know I'm getting little to no views, but damn it, I got 20 subscribers. For real. I'm appreciative of something. Humble and grateful, y'all. For real. And I don't know, I guess this is my celebration for 20 subscribers. But hey, anything beats a blank, as my mother would say. You know, 20 subscribers is better than no subscribers. And I know the most big time YouTubers, 20 subscribers is probably like less than 0 to them, but it's 20 to me, and I'm appreciative of that. You know what I'm saying? So here's to another 20. If I get to 40, I'll say here's to another 40. We're gonna try to double it all the time. But yeah, that's it for me. Like, comment, and help get me over 20, y'all. Or I don't know what I'm gonna do next. I'll probably bitch about the Mets next, but and like I said, I'll still work on my wrestling content, because this is stuff that I gotta write. But it is what it is. All the love, y'all. See ya.